First off, rest in peace, neighborhood nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, based over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
What's good people out there in the world? You already know what it is. We are back with a brand new episode. It's your 3 favorite guys. Well, 2 right now. And it's your favorite pod's favorite pod. And we here to discuss week 1 and a little bit of week 2. So I'm super excited. Y'all know this is your boy Cannon's favorite time of the year. Who else I got with me? You already know.
Man, you know, it's your boy AJ. I got my red cup today. Make sure y'all follow us on, all our social media platforms. 3-Man Weave _ on Instagram and Twitter. 3-Man Weave on Twitch. 3-Man Weave podcast on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. I see the 4s rolling in. Hey, thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Please do. And send it to everybody that you know, man. Let them know what's up. Let them know, pull on up. Let's have a good old family gathering.
Let's do it. It's our favorite time of the year, man.
Oh yeah, it's we have football, but man, before we get started, man, it's
bro.
Like I feel like it's
again.
It's way too many times, man. But
it's too many at this point.
Gotta say, rest in peace to PNB Rock, man. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation, and quite honestly, man, I hate to see it. And I hate
facts.
I hate how comfortable this era is with seeing like dead people, dead bodies, and posting things on social media of people in their last moments. Like, so I just happened to I found out because I just happened to be scrolling on Twitter, and like I stay away from stuff like that. But I happened to be scrolling on Twitter and just saw the video as I'm scrolling, as he's just laying.
I haven't seen the floor. Thank God, bro.
Like, yeah, he's just laying there, barely moving in a pool of his own blood, and it's just. You have people just standing around with their phones at them, and it's like, hey, man, like, to me, I hate to say it, but if you can sit there with your phone out, you can apply some sort of like life-saving measures, like go
desensitized, bro.
Yeah, like go, apply pressure to the wound, do something to try and make sure that to do what you can.
Bro, this generation, to piggyback off what you said, bro, we no longer have the same regard for human life as people once did. Like, people are willing to kill you over beeping a horn at them in this day and time.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's that serious. So to have that, and I don't know if it's the fact that we played Grand Theft Auto for so many years and we shot up all these people in video games, and I don't know if that had a psychological effect on us, but it's like people are pulling the trigger and they don't care that, this man had multiple daughters, bro.
Yeah.
Multiple daughters. So when you see children out here misguided in this world and you think, oh, they ain't got no home training, it's not, no, it's a vicious cycle that we're in. We are killing our own kind. And then I get super upset when I think about the fact that we are already at war with other people. We have no time to be killing one another right now. And I don't even know if the killer is. Now I'm just speaking as young people. I'm speaking for the younger generation. You should not be killing anybody in your circle. You should have more value on life than that. Like if your
Mhm.
life is not in danger, we should never get to the point where I'm willing to take your life over some possession that you have, some argument that we have. None of that. And that's just my take. But it's real sickening, bro.
Yeah, and one thing to piggyback off of that I will say is everybody, well, I won't say everybody, but we've been hearing so much about this generational wealth kick that a lot of people are on and trying to build. And you talk about this man having daughters, not even that. Like, just think about who he may be the provider for and the breadwinner for outside of just his daughters and his girlfriend. This man could be taking care of his mother. He could be taking care of his sisters, his cousins,
Every
friends, people like that, and elevating a whole bunch of other people. And so it's something that, the value of life, people don't have, like, people don't understand that you're doing this for, you know, a 10,000, maybe a couple 100,000, stuff like that. And I understand that definitely, is a lot of money. But when it comes to a life, it's
it
way
ain't.
more valuable. And, we, people talk about it all the time, when somebody get the drop on you, son, it's best to just, to give it up. But
Yeah.
sometimes that ain't enough. People will just, like,
Yeah.
people
They
will people
will
will
just
take it off of you. Like, people, you can hand
exploit.
over everything and people will still
Yeah.
shoot you and kill you.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate. And one of the saddest things for me is, how people are treating his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Um, pretty much blaming her for,
Mhm.
for this happening to him.
The honest mistake, bro.
And to me, and to be quite honest, had she not posted, it is
He might have
very,
still
very,
got
it
shot.
is very, very possible that this still could have happened because he, like, I used to live in LA. He
Mhm.
wasn't at the Roscoe's on Pico and La Brea. He wasn't at, like, any of the, like, those Roscoe's in Inglewood. Like, this is a Roscoe's that people got at all the time. And so even like,
Which
even in
brings
the
this brings me to my next point. When you're young, rich, and famous, and you've made it out, why do we continue to go to places like that, AJ?
And it's not, well, here's my thing. It's not necessarily why do we go to places like that. For me, it's, you know, when you're there, like, and you're in a foreign place. I understand, when you go, when in LA, they always talk about, oh, check in, check in, check in. It's not even that. It's, bro, take security.
Mm.
Like, don't be so in a position, where you think like, hey, I don't need security. I don't need this. I don't need that. Because you, like, bro, you're not from there. I don't care. Like, and we know it happens, in your hometown, but
Facts.
but you in LA, and LA has been a zoo. People from LA have been telling people not to come to LA for the longest. It's almost
Yeah.
like Chicago. It's almost like Chicago.
Mhm.
Like, that whole checking in stuff. Like, you can't check in Chicago. You can't check in LA because a lot of these dudes, they ain't safe there.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like, just be smart, like, do what you got, like. And I understand, PNB Rock, he might even be feeling like, hey, I don't be beefing with nobody, I don't do nothing to nobody. But
And
he just spoke, days prior
do you
about.
feel like because if you're a real down to earth person like I don't know him personally, but that's from his music, from his interviews, from everything that I always seen about him, he appears to be a down to earth person. I know me personally, I hate being around bougie and fake. So it's
Yes,
like
absolutely.
that, and I'm saying this now because of course I don't have that type of wealth. But that type of thing, not being around those fake people for so long, might just want you to just have a real meal at Roscoe's real quick, just to still be in touch. You feel me? But
Absolutely.
unfortunately, in this day and time, bro, with these camera phones everywhere, and like you said, even if it wasn't his girl, someone at Waffle House could have been just they didn't even have to post. They could just text their friends who are Jack Boys and be like, yo, he's up here.
Right.
Don't know how they got the drop on him. So, like you said, one, his girlfriend isn't. morning. You know what I'm saying? If the police haven't arrested her, I have to feel that she don't have nothing to do with it. You feel me? So it's like this is a shock to her just as much as it is to us. So it's like
100%, 100%.
and she's a regular person, and just because she's in a relationship with her, she's not gonna think like a famous person all the time like they should. So when she makes that post, it's just a regular, just like everybody said, how could she make that post? It's the same way y'all make that post. Y'all want to
Exactly.
post everywhere that y'all at. It's what people do. And now I don't know if you remember, but a couple weeks ago, people have been saying like there's the new update with Instagram where your
They got
location
the
now gives
location is
you the exact location in the geotag.
exactly.
And before it used to give like a close location. So it's
Hmm.
like,
It's like a
you know,
triangulation of where you at.
maybe Instagram gotta play some type of role in that, take some responsibility because why are they giving out people's location like that? You should have to turn that feature on. It shouldn't come
Right. It shouldn't just
already
be
on
something
with
like
the
that.
app.
I want I want to talk about this. Mark, he said it's crab in the bucket is real, but we're not teaching right from day one to justify the BS we do, so we don't have to hold ourselves accountable. The thing about it is, it is really kind of, what is being glorified and kind of the things that are going in that, that survival that survival instinct where it's just like, you got to eat off of someone else in order to survive.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunate because this doesn't really happen in, some other cultures, I'll say. Like if I'm trying to think of like a mid-level, like if say not even that, but like if a white movie star or a white artist wants to go out to Roscoe's, they can, and I guarantee you they'll probably be safer than
Mhm.
PNB Rock was in this area. And it's unfortunate that that's kind of what's going on. And I I hate how you can't live, you always have to be on edge. Like Rakia said, it's about
Yeah.
situational awareness. Like why as a black man do I have to have situational awareness of just trying to go get a meal in a restaurant in broad daylight? You know what I mean? It's not like I'm walking down the street in a place that I'm you know not supposed to be in or something like that. Like, I'm just in a restaurant having breakfast
Yeah.
and can't even escape it. People are just in there and stuff like that. So it's definitely unfortunate.
And
And
it's also the jury game too, bro. I've never
yeah,
been. And once again, I ain't wealthy, but I would like to believe that if I came into $1 million today, I wouldn't be a jury. I still wouldn't be a jury type person. You feel me? I wouldn't have no bulky. I would have a nicer car. You know what I mean? I would have
yeah.
some stuff to let you know that I has, but I'm not just gonna. You wouldn't know that I was a millionaire because I wouldn't have on gaudy super ice that would make me a target. That would give me a little bit more of a chance to be able to slip into a Roscoe's and slip out. You feel me?
But
But
the
when you
thing,
come in shining like a chandelier, and I'm not knocking him because one, if you earn it, one, he got it out the mud. So when you earn that, you feel like daggone right I'm gonna shine. And like you said, he was staying out the way, wasn't beefing, wasn't it was all love with him.
but another unfortunate thing about all of that is it's a part of kind of the the lifestyle.
Yeah, you have
Like
to it's
like
almost like to be
that's like
certified,
like
you have to
like
have it.
that's what the record labels want.
Yeah,
That's
part of the
what people
resume.
that's what some of these people who haven't really got a grasp of understanding of true wealth believe that you're like if you don't got this stuff on, you ain't the one that's making it. But when you start to see the ones who really start to make it, they start to
Reload.
strip down a bit, and they
Mhm,
start to understand, okay, this is the true definition of wealth.
mhm.
These are the things that I do to symbolize my wealth. I don't have to show you. It's almost the same situation. The loudest one in the room is probably the weakest one in the room.
Yeah. Come on, Frank. We
You
got you,
know,
Frank. We
the
got
one, the
order
one that
right there.
the one that's shining the most probably got I ain't gonna say got the least when it comes to compared to who he may be in the room with, but
Mhm.
he's probably not as well off as you believe
Yeah.
because of, once again, also like I said before, he may, just because he's the breadwinner, and stuff like that and stuff like that. So it's it's all that. And Rakia, she said it right. She said, I don't care what homie had on, wearing a chain doesn't warrant anybody to rob and kill you.
It
Bro,
does not.
nothing
Right.
like when you minding your business, like especially like this wasn't like, it wasn't nothing like a long standing beef where you may have done something to this person that I've done. Like if you just like killing someone and robbing someone, like to me, that's just like that's some weak ass shit.
It really is, bro. It really is. But what I read, it was a comment earlier that said like the the wealth gap, and I ain't talking about like the super wealthy to the middle class. I'm talking about the wealth gap just between the middle class and the lower class. It
Yeah.
is ridiculous right now to where people are having to force to do stuff like that, even though they're not that type of person. And I just did want to say just one more thing. So look, my one of my favorite shows going on like 15 years now is Deadliest Catch, right?
Yep. I
And I've
love
watched
Deadly
that show
Catch.
for years because it is well for years it has been the deadliest job in America. But I'm gonna go out and on a limb and say it's no longer the most deadliest job in the world or America. Being a rapper in modern day America is the most dangerous job in the world. Rappers are just falling like flies, bro. And we lost so many famous rappers in the last 2 years. It's ridiculous. But also, if you just look at the budding rappers who weren't famous, it's even more. It is ridiculous. It's like a young black man, like you said, that's almost like one of their dreams, like because you can play ball to make it, you can rap your way to making it. It's like one of the ways that you can make it where they can't take that from you. But it's like, dang, if I'm gonna make it as this, my actual life is gonna be at risk, especially with the stipulations that come with it. Like you said, your record label's gonna want you in that big flashy jewelry. That's almost marketing your brand as a rapper. So it's like, I
Yeah.
just pity people
And
get that
it
game, man.
and it's kind of funny that it's kind of crazy that you mentioned that because one of the fours, Deuce, he's an engineer and stuff, and he worked
Mhm,
with some artists out in Richmond.
mhm.
A young artist out in Richmond who was, he was coming up and he was, doing some great stuff, and he was, working with Deuce a lot. He got killed last night
See,
at 23 on his birthday.
see.
You know what I mean? It's just like, so it's just like on your birthday,
Mm.
you get killed out in Richmond. And he like, I was talking to Deuce about some of the things that he was doing, and he was just saying, Deuce was talking to him about, you know, other things outside of, the culture. He was like, he just started learning about Jim Crow, stuff like
Yeah,
that. And it's
yeah,
just like, as you start seeing people make that turn, it's almost like that's when we always see
yeah,
it happen. It's
yeah,
like once they start making that turn and started, understanding, like, you know what, let me grow a little bit, then it's like it gets taken away right then and there. It's
yeah,
just like when, like Frank Lucas and all these other dudes, like when it's like they always get caught when they think about coming out of the game. And I
yeah.
think it's because that's when you start letting your guard down.
That's a good point, man. That's a very
Yeah.
good point.
Let's I know we spent a lot of time on that, but we, definitely wanted to pay respects. Let's go ahead and, move to that week one NFL, man. It's what we've been waiting on. We finally get real
Yeah, man.
NFL football.
It was some big hits, man. I would say it
Yeah,
was
definitely.
definitely some big hits. I enjoyed it, but I do think, man, I feel like we should start with the Bengals because y'all were Super Bowl attendees last year. Didn't
Yeah, we
quite
the
bring
runners up, the runners up.
it. Yeah, and what you think, man? Tell me what you think about your team.
So I'm actually not worried at all. I mean, if you look at the box score, Joe Burrow played his worst game of his career.
Mm-hmm.
5 total turnovers, 4 picks,
Mm-hmm.
and he had that sack fumble. But I am not worried at all because overall our entire team played amazing. You
Mm,
know, uh defense held it down, and that's also, in some part to, Mitch Trubisky. From the Steelers game plan, you could tell that they didn't necessarily trust him. So it was a pretty conservative game plan. And once Joe Burrow really shook some of those cobwebs off, it was, it started to give you hope. And then, like I said, the entire offensive line, they didn't play together in the preseason. Joe Burrow didn't play any reps in the preseason, and he's coming off that appendix surgery. So this is another offseason that Joe Burrow has not had a normal offseason because his rookie season, COVID, second season, ACL rehab, this season, appendix recovery, and he, didn't get the reps in that
mhm.
he wanted. And so you could tell because Joe Burrow, he looked shaky. He wasn't making the reads he normally makes because he was late on some reads. He didn't, take his check downs, and he was late on some throws. But outside of that, I'm actually not like I'm not I'm not concerned because to me, with 5 turnovers and you still have a chance to win this game.
That's crazy.
And for me personally, we had 4 game-winning touchdowns. Only one of them counted. So, and outside of a backup long snapper not really having, the timing down with the kickers,
Hey, that's
hey,
super important,
it's
man.
super important. But we were a backup long slapper away. I mean,
Hey,
from still winning that game. So I'm not worried. It's week 1. That's an
now,
extended preseason game, but unfortunately, it goes on the record. But we
yeah.
good.
Now I was gonna ask you, you stated that, offensive line didn't get to play a lot together in the preseason because of me watching the game. And I had to go back to watch the game because I was watching my game during that time. But I just felt like when I went back and watched it, I felt like the offensive line was looking kind of shaky to me. So you're saying that they haven't played a lot together. So do you feel like that's a continuity thing? You have confidence going forward, or what? You think they're better than last year? What is it?
Oh, so they're 100% better than last year. Lyle Collins missed a lot of time in camp because he had a
Mhm.
back injury,
Yeah.
but he gave up. I think he gave up one pressure, and he was going up against TJ Watt. And then also some of the times you could see TJ Watt wasn't actually running. He did get beat really bad by TJ Watt one time, but it's TJ Watt, so that's going to happen.
Hmm.
But Ted Karras, our new center, he didn't give up a single pressure, a single sack the entire game. Alex Kappa, another new addition, didn't
Hmm.
give up a single sack or a single pressure the entire game. You know, uh, like I said, Lyle Collins, he gave up one pressure, but he didn't give up a sack. So our right side of the line was very, that was the side that was suspect.
Hmm.
They did their job. Cordell Volson, he's a 4th-round rookie. He beat out Jackson Carman. Your first game your first game in the NFL, you're going against Cam Hayward, bro. I can't
Yeah.
be mad at you. That he's getting pressure and stuff on you. And Jonah Williams, he got beat by Alex Highsmith a couple times, but he did
Hmm.
win some reps. And one thing that I said last season that a lot of people didn't want to listen to me about is some of those sacks are on Joe Burrow also because he's trying to make a play. And like on some of the sacks and the interceptions in this game, he had check downs right in front of him, whether it's Joe Mixon or Hayden Hurst kind of running right right sitting right in the field, but he's looking to make that play, and him being rusty trying to make plays, he's just a little bit late. He'll get right, and
Hmm.
I'm not worried at all. So he'll get right, and I think we'll be fine. The Steelers, it's unfortunate that they did lose TJ Watt, but luckily it's
Yeah.
not for the season. So
Yeah.
that'll be good. Hopefully he's back, which he should be
I mean, they
by that
say
second
it, but
meeting.
it's a pec injury, and
Yeah.
I've I remember when Orakpo used to struggle. Now this was years
Hmm.
ago, so
Yeah.
like medicine is different. So hopefully he can be. But I remember Orakpo had one time where he had a pectoral injury and he came back, later that year. And that very first game that he came back, he tore the pec again and ended
Yeah.
up being out even longer. So it was like that is a nasty, nasty injury, the pec injury, just because of it has to attach to your bone, and once you tear it, it's like, what do you reattach it to? Um,
Yeah.
so
Right.
I hope, for the Steelers' sake and for TJ Watt's sake, that he gets back to form, because of course he is just a good football player to watch. Like, regardless of people being on my team or being on, a rival's team or anybody else's team, I love to see like just good football players. When
Right.
football players are
100%.
good, I just want to see the best players on the field. So hopefully he gets back.
And you know me, I'm one of those people. I don't like injuries. I don't care how
Yeah,
much
fact.
I don't like a team. I want everybody to be
Yeah,
100% because to me that's the best
that's the best
litmus
way.
test of seeing,
Yeah,
because like of course any given Sunday, but even still, I just like to see everybody participate,
fact.
stuff like that. But we talked about the Bengals. It's game one of
Yeah,
Commander season. How you
yeah, man.
feeling? How you
First,
feeling?
yeah, first game in history, man. I will say, let me start off this by saying, one, I realize I'm getting old, bro. I'm getting old, and the reason I say this is because football season is my favorite season. I'm super excited. Game come on, I take my little shots of Casamigos, and boy, the Commanders come out strong. Like, defense is making stops. Carson Wentz is in command of the offense, and we put up 14 points, and then I fell asleep.
Yep.
It was 14-0. I fell asleep. And the funny thing is, I was texting like, man, yo, I'm sending people like, yo, hey, he looking good, man. He doing everything the coach is asking him to do. And I go to sleep and I wake up, bro. And literally when I wake up, he just thrown a pick in our red zone. And then Jacksonville scored on either the next play or the next two plays, but whatever, they scored and we're down. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yo,
How the hell?
I'm like,
Yep.
I took a nap and now we're down.
It's
And
your
I'm like,
fault.
same old Commanders, right? Of course, it's a new name, but I'm like, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I seen the difference in my team, because in years past, it was late third quarter too when this happened. Years past, we would have packed it up and folded. But I honestly think, and I was kind of against Wentz coming because
Right.
of his price tag. But I will say he kind of won me over on his debut, because when he got down, after I woke back up, he didn't make no more mistakes. Like, he literally was like, all right, they scored, got the ball back. He drove them down. It was looking like we was gonna have to punt. Third down, boom, he catches McLaurin deep. And then we're still down. They scored again. I think they scored a field goal, so we're still down by like 2 points. Um, Late in the fourth quarter, he drives down. It's 3rd and 8. I'm thinking just go for the first down. He goes for the gusto and hits Jahan Dotson. And I'm like, that is not what Washington would have done in years past. We definitely would have only been trying to get 8 yards. We probably would have threw the ball 3 yards. And I hope that the receiver or running back did the rest. So the fact that he was going for the gusto, it kept the defense off the field. And we did take some injuries to the defensive line, which is disheartening. But they were able to stay off the field for a decent amount of time, which I think kept them fresh, would allow them, when we needed to make the stop, because Jacksonville had the ball last with enough time to make something happen to win the game. But we end up getting a pick because D-line was getting pressure, secondary was fresh, and I was excited to see that we didn't let the same things that plagued us for the last 5 or 6 years plague us, which was bad clock management, bad or just too much conservative play calling, and bad defense. But we pulled it out. So I was excited, and hopefully we can keep that up going forward.
Yeah. So our guy, Junior Evard here, he said Wentz gonna Wentz eventually. But to be quite honest, I believe Wentz is a
We put a
good
team around him.
he's a good quarterback for what y'all are trying to do right now, because
Mhm,
what he would like, yes, he's going to have his moments, but what
mhm,
he's going to do is he's going to have his highs as well.
mhm.
And what's that's going to give you guys is a very, good range of variance, so that on any given Sunday, depending on what Wentz shows up, y'all can win. And
Mhm.
the team, like I said before the season, this is the best crop of receivers Wentz
Yeah.
has played with in
Oh,
his
it is.
career. And
It definitely is.
when I mentioned Jahan Dotson, people laughed at me.
Facts.
But as you see, it looks like he is going to be a player.
I put him as my rookie of the year in our preseason superlative. So
Right. And so
and
for
people laughed at that.
yeah, and so to me, what I'm saying is having the weapons that he has, and is going to allow him to do things that is going to allow him to, put to stand on some of those things. Of course, he's going to throw some interceptions and make you be like, yo, what the fuck? You just threw the game away.
Yeah, because the
But
one interception that I woke up to, bro, it was on a screen pass, and literally, I didn't even see our player over there. He just literally threw it to. It was like 3 teal jerseys, bro. He's
yeah,
like,
he just said, fuck it, he down there somewhere. But
if he gonna
he
bounce back like that, then I'll take it because we've had quarterbacks throw picks and then just fold after.
because that pick, I mean, that touchdown pass he threw to Dotson, that was an amazing throw.
Mhm.
And say what you will, you've had quarterbacks
Couldn't
in the
make those
past
throws.
that couldn't make those throws, so that
Mhm.
doesn't provide you that variance. So you may
Mhm.
like Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is going to be steady,
Mhm.
but with that steady and the team around him, it doesn't allow you to maximize the team
Yeah.
that you have around him because he's only. That's just one of the reasons why we see Tyrod Taylor do a lot of the, kind of just the steady stuff because he's not going to make mistakes.
Mhm.
He's just going to, slowly push it down the field, let your defense take over. Carson Wentz, he can actually win you some games. He
Mhm.
gonna lose them. He gonna lose them, but he's gonna win you. He's gonna fuck around and win you some games too. So that was definitely good. And like I said, it's a good win. I actually, like I said, Jaguars they might
Linwood,
surprise some people.
look, Linwood said that was a shaky throw. I disagree. It was 3rd and 8, bro. I felt like he knew exactly where he was going, and he knew how Dawson plays those balls, so he put it where only Dawson can got it. He came up with it. I ain't gonna say it was shaky, bro. It's
It-
3rd and 8. When he threw it, I'm like he acting like he threw it like he knew where he was going with it.
and sometimes for me, like sometimes when you watch certain plays, it looks like it was an accident, but sometimes it's anticipation.
Mhm.
And so, it could wholeheartedly have been an accident.
It could have been.
But sometimes
Mhm.
stuff like that, when you have a receiver and you guys are on the same page,
Facts.
it's just like a back shoulder throw.
Yeah.
A back shoulder throw is you being on the same page saying like, look, we're gonna, take him down the field. You have eyes on me. He's playing your hip. So you have the advantage. So I'm gonna put it right here to allow you to, take a step and adjust to the ball. And the
You
fo-
see this?
the
You see this
the
Broncos
the
country?
forest is gonna take me right into my next thing. Week one winners and losers.
And that Broncos country took me out, bro.
Yeah, so we gonna start on a good note because we're gonna get to these losers in a second.
Oh
Week
man.
week one winners.
Oh,
Give me one of your week one winners right now.
oh, man. Huh. Week one winners. Let me see. Let me look at my notes.
Well,
Pull up my notes. Give me yours real quick if you know yours off the top.
so
Oh, I got it. Giants. Week
yeah,
one winners, man.
definitely.
I did not one. I basically wrote them off just because I'm not a believer in Danny Dimes. I also wasn't too sold on that offseason, even though they did make a few moves. But I like Dayball, man, for some
Yeah,
reason. And
100%.
I was kind of happy for him. I was kind of happy to see Saquon get back at it. Because one, that was a bad 2-point conversion play. It actually the Titans had him. They had him for yards
Yeah,
lost.
dead to
That
rights.
was
Dead to rights.
all Saquon being healthy again and being able to do the special stuff that he does. So I was happy for him. But Giants, I basically had them bottom of the division. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but I don't know if they're going to be the pushover that people thought. If Danny Dimes can drop some dimes instead of dropping some picks, um, then they
Oh,
could be
this
a
is funny.
problem. Because they got some talent. They got some talent.
Yeah, 100%. So one of my week one winners, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I had him in my offensive player of the year, superlative. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, my gosh.
Yeah, like when I did my receiver rankings, like I had him number one for a reason. Like he talked about this offense that he was going to be in, and it's like because it was one of the things that I said, in my explanation, Cup, yes, Cup was the triple crown winner, but I said, man, like he was fed targets, he was just like fed targets because he was schemed open. You put Devontae Adams, and he has a lot of targets, but if you feed him targets like that, he's so much more dynamic.
Yeah,
and he didn't really have nobody on the other side. You give him those targets,
never.
he getting 2,000. You
I
put Justin Jefferson.
Seen somebody as open as this man was this weekend, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what they would like. That's how Cooper Kupp be open. It's just like in the Super Bowl, you'd be like, "Hey, yo, Odell hurt. Why y'all not covering Cooper Kupp?" It's because like Sean McVay is like, "All right, cool.
Yeah.
We gonna overload this side, put him right here, like basically put him in line, and
snuck him out.
And in order, like the only way that you can really do that is if you like change the entire scheme of your defense. Because if you in zone, he's just gonna like you keep moving from one side, put him on a side that's already overloaded, and he's in the like the deep
zones.
He's the deepest in the
man to man.
Yeah, but then even if you man to man, you manning up with one person the whole game, you are putting your other corners in.
Bracket them. When I say man to man, I mean with people over top, bro. Like,
but here's my thing though: if you do that, if you put him man to man, not like your other corner, like you may have a number one corner, but your other corners can't cover man to man for an entire game either, and that's what makes it so difficult.
They're gonna have to cover this stuff underneath, because what we can't do is let Justin Jefferson get behind us like this past week one.
But that's what Pop say. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, man. You're gonna have to pick poison. You're gonna have to let Thielen catch these, because you can't let this dynamic dude get these. The Rock, bro, he gonna be hitting it gritty in the end zone, bro.
But guess what? If you start playing where you're trying to get, Justin Jefferson out of the game, and you're trying to focus on Thielen too, and say you going too high or whatever the case may be, guess what? Dalvin Cook gonna fuck you up.
Facts. They got a good, and on top of that, bro, Kirk looked good. Like, because I remember I was criticizing him, but I tried to text the chat. I'm like, yo, bro, he looks good. And even when I got excited because he missed a few passes, I thought he was falling off in the second half. Boom, big hit to Justin Jefferson. So it's like big hit to Thielen. He actually played a good game.
100%.
And like you said, I think it's the marriage between him and Kevin O'Connell. Like maybe they figured it out. What previous Viking staffs couldn't figure out. This might work better for him, but also they do have the pieces around him on offense. So I like how the Vikings came out looking, man. And I'm worried. I'm worried about your boy, man, and your number 3 defense of the Packers, bro.
Look, it's the same thing. It's the same feeling that I got with the Bengals. I'm not gonna overreact too much, about stuff that's going on in week 1, but offensively, that's concerning. Offensively, that is concerning because, hey, I understand that you ain't got receivers and stuff like that, but I don't care.
You like Watson coming out of college?
Yeah, I did like Watson, but I also said it's gonna take him some time. But I do like him because his size and speed combination. But that open touchdown,
you ain't never gonna get one like that in the NFL ever again.
Ever again, he ain't gonna get that ever again, and he might not get it ever again because Aaron might not throw it to him ever again.
He was disgusted, bro.
Yeah, but fuck him.
Disgusted.
But you got another winner?
Somebody said, I feel like somebody said, I guess the Bears. The Bears. Justin Fields had a better control of the offense than I expected.
Yeah, I'm not really reading too much into that game because just how crazy that shit was. Like once again, that's a game. Once again, week 1, but also, hey, bro, that shit was they was playing in the ocean.
I know, but that's another reason why I feel like Justin Fields shocked me, because one, I expect for a rookie, this is like they basically gave him, he ain't a rookie no more, but it's like they done gave him the keys now. So it's like all right, it's really your team. But then it's a monsoon. So it's like I expected him to have a bad day if it was normal weather, but it's like he was pretty solid and kind of hard to rattle, man. So it's like
Yeah.
I think that's a win for the Bears because they were looking for a franchise guy. I don't know if he's a franchise guy, but he's definitely something. You feel me? So I think that's and you get the week one win. That's always a positive. So if you get your guy looks like the guy, you get the victory. Hey, I'll take it. I just hope Montgomery, man. I,
I don't see it, bro. I don't think it's there for him, yo, to be quite honest.
why you say that though?
Because it's like I think when he was in that Nagy offense, bro, I feel like he got
Yeah,
broken.
yeah.
I feel like he was broken.
Yeah, he was in
And
a lot in that, and he kept
yeah,
playing through it.
right. So yeah. Um, I'll give one last winner before we move on to the losers. My God, man. I said this like Eli Manning's like last season. Geno Smith.
Yeah,
Geno
yeah,
Smith. I was saying it. Hey, the Giants would be so much better with Geno Smith.
yeah, yeah. They
He's a
should
lot
have.
like
He
he is
did
a
say
better
that.
he is a better quarterback than a lot of people give him credit for. He gets killed a lot because of he got his face broke for
Yeah,
talking shit.
yeah.
And yeah, you
That
go
ruined him.
it ruined
That
him.
ruined him.
But Geno Smith is a solid
Hey,
quarterback,
bro, why
bro.
you just didn't pay that man, bro?
They didn't.
He flew you out. He was not making a lot of money in the league. You was playing with his money, bro, and got your face broke, and it cost you 6 years of your career, man.
Yeah. Boy been riding the bitch just hoping for a moment like this, and he fucking got it,
But
boy. He fucking
what
got
did
it.
I say on episode 167? I said this is an opportunity because I said he has the tools to be a productive quarterback because he can spin it. He can actually read. He can move in the pocket. He's not a statue. He just ain't had a lot of opportunities. And when he has, he ain't made the best of them. So I'm
He's
like, at this point, you're a journeyman. You know there's not a lot of opportunities coming. You better seize this or else. You feel me? So I felt like he was going to do good. And I'm not saying he did great, but I mean, he got the victory and he went against Russell. Definitely a winner. I agree with you
Yeah, so to me, and it's not like the team around him is super great. So,
at all.
people picked this team to be a bad team. And
Mhm.
so, he did what he had to do. And of course, it was way more pressure on Russell Wilson. And like I said before, it's week one. I ain't gonna dig too deep in it. But this is a really, really good win for them to have on their belt, like
Yeah,
under their belt,
absolutely.
and a good confidence builder moving forward. So I think that I'm not saying that they're gonna be a challenger in the NFC West, but like I said before, I ain't like the Cardinals got to prove some
They
shit to
can
me.
disrupt some stuff for sure.
The Rams, I think the Rams are going to get it together, but I do believe that they're going to be shaky, and like I said, it's going to be some record regression. So
Mhm.
it's going to not look pretty. And I said the 49ers, it's going to start out ugly for them until Trey Lance get
Oh
some
God.
time under his belt.
We'll
So
go ahead and get into losers.
so
I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
know
ahead
who
and
I don't know who's going to win that division, but let's get into the losers.
and I'm gonna start with Trey Lance because I said the 49ers will go as far as he can take them.
Right.
And what I watched Fields, it looks like we have something there.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch Trey Lance, I'm afraid, and I haven't seen Reef in here today, so it's like I want to know how does a 49er fan feel after seeing that, and how would you feel if that was your team, AJ? Like, are you convinced you sold on Trey Lance?
So I'm like I said before, this game I'm not reading too much into
Yeah,
because
you keep saying that.
but
Week 4, I'm
because
gonna
like
come back to Trey Lance.
no, 100%. Because it like this was not a good performance, but it was terrible weather. He didn't have Kittle. Elijah Mitchell got hurt, so they didn't have the run game that they normally did. And that offensive line, that should look worse than the Bears' offensive line.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I will say, he better not play like that next week when the weather good. You bet not play like that. Like next week is going like there's a lot of pressure on Trey Lance next week. to really perform. I'm not saying he got to look great, but you have to look competent. You have to look like, hey, there's like I have a grasp of this offense.
Got you, bro.
I can make these throws, and I give this team a chance to win by not making mistakes and just making a play here and there when necessary. Because as we've said before, this team is a Super Bowl roster. So, like, you know, it's gonna go far as the quarterback goes. So guess what? Hey, I need you to just not fuck up in this Shanahan offense.
Yeah.
So my first loser is gonna be an easy loser. It's Russell, man. Russell and Nathaniel Hackett. Y'all two. Hey, bro, I can't have that.
Broncos
Like,
country.
let's
Let's
ride.
go.
Because and the reason why I'm going Russell is like, hey, bro, like this is the team that you said you wanted to leave. You told me
Yeah.
you can't win here. You wanted to get up out of there.
Yeah. And
You know
Gino
what I
winning
mean?
there.
Yeah, and Gino took that team, and he beat you, and y'all was a big favorite, week one or not. You know, you out there in your prom suit, showing up to the game. You know, you out here with you know, Sierra. Y'all just so happy to be Broncos country. Let's ride.
Yeah.
You got the Legion of Boom on the sideline, just looking at you, just you know, losing to Geno Smith. Hey, you can't have that, bro.
Yeah.
So, you know, Russ
Hey,
is definitely one of my biggest losers.
hey, man, I'm gonna speak for Hill, and I'm gonna just say Karen Rogers and the Pack.
Oh yeah,
So I
smoking on that
feel like
Karen
Hill will
Rogers
have
pack.
that. But another one of my losers is going to be Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders. And it's because Devontae went there and cooked up like we said, and it still wasn't enough for them to get the win because their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
100%. Damn, how you put Derek Carr in that though? You could have just
Hey,
said the Raiders.
because of
I'm
you,
just fucking with you.
he
I'm
has
just
the
fucking with you.
crown like he did. Defense did have him close enough where he should be able to get them over the hump. But it's like, you ain't getting us over the hump neither. It's going to take a team effort there. So it's like, you feel me?
Yeah, I'm not like so. Before I give mine, I'm gonna give the fours biggest loser of the week because it's almost been like a consensus.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts.
Yeah.
The Colts, hey bro,
I've been saying
you
it.
know, like that is terrible. That is unacceptable.
It's sad that they getting the biggest loser of the week and they technically didn't lose.
But that's why it's the biggest loser. Like, hey, bro, like you ain't like I understand it's a divisional game, but come on, man, that ain't how y'all supposed to open the season, especially how y'all ended the season by missing the playoffs, losing to the Jags.
People said that Matty Ice was going to go in there and cook up, bro. I ain't
Yeah,
sold on Matty Ice in a long time.
and you know, I don't know if you want to do it, but just you know, from the three-man weave perspective, we getting a lot of the Cowboys as a loser too. I don't want to necessarily say it because Hill predicted this. He didn't predict Dak
Yeah.
go like you
And it
know
was the
breaking his
Bucks,
thumb,
so it's like
and it was the Bucks.
they're playing a top team, so it's like they weren't even favorites to win.
Yeah,
So
so like that's why I'm not necessarily picking them as a loser. The only way I picked them as a loser is because they lost Dak. That's the
yeah,
biggest loss of
yeah,
you
that.
know week one.
But it is a plus that they're saying he's only going to be out 4 weeks, so that could be a plus.
I believe it
And
I believe it when I
technically,
see it.
the Raiders shouldn't be a loser either because they lost to a good team. I'm just making
That
them losers because
that's
yeah,
your loser. I know.
they and Hill and AJ like the Raiders. So it's like, plus my dad is a Raiders fan, so if he watched this, then he can know that I'm calling his team losers.
Yeah, and the one of the reasons why, like, to go back to why I don't believe that.
Titans definitely losers,
Yeah,
bro.
Titans is definitely losers.
If
They might
The Giants are winners. Titans are
Titans are
losers.
losers. But the reason why I don't believe Dak is going to be out 4 weeks, because when they say 6 to 8 months, they usually mean it, and it's on his thumb. That's where he really gets the pressure on the
They
ball.
said 6 to 8 months. You mean
No,
weeks?
6 to 8 weeks. My bad.
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks.
I mean, they came out today and said the surgery went better than they thought, and it's looking like 4 weeks. I don't know. They went in.
Only reason why I'm saying that is because I didn't have that injury to my thumb, but I've had that injury to my index finger
Oh
right
my
here.
God.
And
Damn.
so like I did it like I did it playing softball, and so squeezing, like even after like, that, I still couldn't necessarily get the necessary pressure to throw.
Yeah,
And when you throw after that, that's that, some of that time, it's pretty much like for me, I didn't get surgery 'cause I didn't get pins in it because it would have limited my range of motion.
that's what it
But
is. Put that thing down, man.
but when you like trying, like you can't put as much pressure. And then the bad thing about it is the thumb is so important when you're
Yeah,
throwing the ball, is
yeah.
because it's how you literally control the
Definitely
ball.
got prime time.
And so it's hits the G spot, fellas. But so
Oh man.
the only thing about that is, how is his pain tolerance going to be when he's come back trying to squeeze the ball, because it's still going to give him like pain when he's trying to squeeze it. So that's all. So 4 weeks is definitely generous, but it's modern medicine, so we'll see.
But I will say Dak has he attacked that ankle rehab. So
Yeah.
they say 4 weeks. I'm gonna lean towards that because I feel like Dak attacks rehab because he's that type of player. That's just my opinion. It could, we'll see. We'll see in a month.
So, and before we move on, I feel bad for Dak, man. I feel bad for Dak because it's like, bro, like you had all of this pressure coming in, everybody like people killing you because of course, the quarterback of
Yeah,
you know
America's team.
America's team, quote unquote, and you get blamed for the loss. You do all of that stuff, and actually listening to Hill, and you and I, we've talked to Hill, throughout the years, especially throughout Kellen's tenure there. Hey, bro, their offense is so basic.
Yeah,
The offense is so basic. They don't really they don't do anything to allow him to maximize his talents. And they didn't do nothing to get better. They actually did everything they could to get worse.
I just
And
don't.
so,
I just don't understand. I don't understand getting rid of Amari because having Amari, having CD, and having Zeke with Dak, and then you add on Schultz, like that is a problem.
you know what?
That is a problem.
You know what I would have liked? Well, not saying I would have liked, like it's my team, but I think would have been fine. You keep Amari, you
Yes,
keep CD, Michael Gallup goes out, but you bring in James Washington. And
I
you know
would be
what?
fine with that.
And then you know what? Then you bring in another offensive lineman. You bring in people to bolster that offensive
Yeah,
line. They
yeah,
didn't do like they actually like they did things to get worse on the offensive line. You let Lyle Collins go
that's a
just to
good
save
point.
money.
That's a good point that Cannon said. When Dak was out last time, no one stepped up. Can't count on Zeke to lead. And I'm just going off precedence because Zeke did not show no type of leadership the last time when Dak was out.
But you know what? When we talk about leading, let's take it to Mike McCarthy,
Yeah,
like the one that's supposed to be your leader.
yeah,
Like,
fact.
come on, bro. Like, it's almost looking more and more like, hey, Dan Quinn need to be the coach of this team.
Hill put on all caps. They purposely got worse. Hey, Hill, where you at, man? Hill in the comments supposed to be on the show.
Yeah, somebody tell he'll pull up. But yeah, man, like that's all I can really say is just like I think that's just a total clusterfuck. And to be quite honest, I don't think Dak should rush back.
But he's a competitor, and
No,
that's
he's
why
a competitor. You know
yeah,
what? Let me change that. I don't think the Cowboys front office should have him rush back
you know they're
because
gonna come back.
because my thing is you did every single move to get worse this offseason anyway. Just
But
stay
the
stay
business,
worse, get your draft pick and do what you can,
Dak
get
fill them seats up, bro, in that arena, man.
yeah,
That's
he
a
filled them
big
seats up.
arena.
I was so glad I didn't buy tickets to go to this game on Sunday because I almost did
Yeah.
because it was the Bengals got their little trip, like the away game thing where you can, get your tickets and they pay for it. Like it's a package. You get your ticket, hotel, and all that. I was like, I'm so glad I didn't do that because I don't even want to go to that game.
Hey, bro, I'm probably going to the Titans game, bro. My coworker a Titans fan, so we probably gonna pull up to that. And Jarvis, I'm definitely going to the Eagles game at FedEx Field. So if you want to roll, pull up. Jardian, pull up. We gonna be there deep.
Yeah. Ro, I already talked to Ro too. I'm going to that Titans because we play the Titans again too, and we own the Titans. We done beat them, like 3 straight seasons, but who's counting? But we'll see. Trying to think, we got any other winners and losers from week one?
Nah, that's it, man. I will say, like, I'm gonna give Philly's defense a loser because on paper, I expected more from their defense. And I'm not saying that Detroit don't have no type of offensive threats, because they do. But for them to just be able to they hung 35 on them?
Yeah,
I just,
something close to that.
yeah, y'all got the win. So I'm not saying the Philadelphia Eagles are losers, but the defense, I expected more from the defense. So we'll see going forward.
So what I will say is, because I said it before, I like the Lions. I'm not saying that they're gonna be good. It's more in line of Hill's competitively trash. What I will say is they gonna give motherfuckers fits this season
Yeah, they are.
because
They are.
they have one of the best offensive lines in the game.
And they got
We've
a good
seen
running back.
say what you want.
Mhm.
We've seen Jared Goff quarterback a team to a Super Bowl. I'm not saying he's the reason they took a team to a Super Bowl, but he was the quarterback
He knows how
of
to manage a team.
exactly.
He
And
knows how to
so
do that.
so you got, DeAndre Swift and um what's it?
Williams.
Jamal Williams running the rock. Their receivers, they ain't the greatest, but they not bad.
Yeah,
You
they
know what I
decent.
mean?
They
Amon
decent.
Ross St. Brown, you got I think it's DJ Shark out there and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And
Mhm.
it's some guys on that defense. I ain't saying they world beaters.
Nah, but it is. Their defense was hitting, bro.
Yeah, they got like Amari Awarie or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
I like him. He
yeah.
a solid player. And
Mhm.
so, and then package that all together, and it seemed like they like playing for Dan Campbell. They not gonna be no easy out, man. So, like, I won't necessarily say that I get what you're saying because on paper, people have always talked about, hey, the Steelers, I mean, because I'm reading the comments,
Mhm.
the Eagles are one of the best rosters in the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah.
So yeah, you take that,
You picked
against
them
the
to go to
Lions.
the Super Bowl, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so facts.
So, 100%, I 100%, get what you're saying, but week one, I'm not reading too much into it.
Yeah, facts.
That,
That's
that
that's
that's
been your theme. Like,
that's
I'm
what.
circling back week 4 for some of our week 1
Oh
concerns.
yeah, 100%. I'm definitely going to be circling back to some of these, but I'm letting some people work out the kinks because we've seen some, crazy stuff happen week one and people right the ship.
Yeah,
So,
most definitely.
like, so we'll see about that. Let's get
I did enjoy that Monday night game, though. Even though Russ lost, that was an exciting game, bro. And I hope that the primetime games continue to live up.
yeah, definitely. And it almost because with this new TV deal impending, it's almost like they said, you know what? Let's actually make some
Yeah,
competitive,
yeah.
primetime games.
Mhm.
Because the fact that we got we got divisional matchups in
Yeah,
primetime,
yeah,
like we have the Chiefs and Chargers this Thursday,
yeah. And that's a
tomorrow.
good one. That's a
Like
good
to have that on a Thursday night, I'm surprised that's not something that they would say for a Monday night game,
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
But to have stuff like that on a Thursday night game is going to be good. I've always said,
You need to
I
be
d-
scared, bro. Talking about the Titans and Bills Monday, you need to be scared to death.
boy, they going to put up 50 on the Titans. It's going to be ugly. But we'll see. I think these slates of primetime games, especially when you got a bunch of division games in primetime, stuff like that, we have for a good entertaining season. I'm
Yeah,
excited, and
definitely excited, bro.
this is feeling like one of those seasons where it's not going to be like too many super terrible teams, but it's just going to be the elite and a bunch of competitive teams. But once again, we'll see as we maneuver past week one. But that's just the feeling that's my takeaway from week one.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with
All right, man. Robert Sarver, bro.
you.
Robert Sarver, the Suns owner, Suns governor, as they say, has been suspended for a year from attending Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury games, and doing business, and also fined $10 million, for having an allegedly racist and misogynistic environment. He said, the N word on numerous occasions, and he's also made, misogynistic jokes to women that have been pregnant, about how they'll be effective in their job, things along those lines. And I want to get your thoughts on it first. What do you think about first what he did and the suspension levied?
Well, of course, what he did is absolutely wrong. There's no place for it in the workplace, um, especially when you expect your employees to come and uphold your brand and do whatever that you expect from them. I feel like that feeling should be reciprocal. If you want your employee to hold up a standard, you as the employer have to hold up a certain type of standard too. Um, and I like the punishment that the NBA handed out. I hear some people saying it's not enough. Some people saying it's too much. But ultimately, he's a owner, and
Right.
he's a owner of a private entity that's not publicly traded. So it's like it he would have had to done something way more egregious and been caught red-handed to make them do what they did to Donald Sterling. So I'm not mad at it. I feel like this is how a lot of those people move. He just got caught. And so they know that this is how they move. So it's like, we can't spank you too bad because you might dime us all out. You feel me?
Right.
But it is what it is. And these people at this point in his life, bro, he is who he is. He's not going to change. So it's like,
Yeah.
let him be who he is. As long as he keeps his workplace clean in the future, I don't have an issue with it. And if
Um,
the cultural people of various backgrounds who work for him find it in their heart to forgive him and don't mind working there, then who am I to make any other assessments about it?
yeah. So I believe the punishment was in line with what I expected. Of course, I actually would have wished he sold the team because I think he's a terrible owner, and
But it's
this
hard
is
to force
yeah,
someone
but
to
that's what I'm
sell.
saying. You like to me, he
It's
like
Snyder.
without having the evidence that they had against Donald Sterling.
Mhm.
One, what people fail to realize with Donald Sterling is Donald Sterling was found guilty
Yeah.
of doing redlining with his real
Mhm.
estate companies and stuff
Yep.
like that, and discriminating against
Mhm.
minorities. So that's something that adds to his suspension, I mean, him having to sell his team, compounding the fact that players said that they wasn't going to play for him. And then
Yeah.
guess what?
The
We
tape.
heard it.
Yeah.
We
The tapes.
heard it. We
Tapes
heard
always
it.
make it worse, bro.
Exactly. And so with Sarver, people like there have been, secondhand accounts, people,
Mhm.
witnesses coming forward and stuff like that. But there have also been said like people believe that they don't necessarily believe people from all races, even black people saying they don't believe Sarver is a racist. They
Yeah.
just believe he's an idiot. Like
Yeah.
he's just one of those people that doesn't know like how to not make inappropriate jokes.
Yeah.
He's like one of them like the white frat dudes that just always do inappropriate shit.
Mhm.
And so I think kind of like having all that information, they said, they didn't want to make, they weren't going to force him to sell the team. And like with this stuff, I don't know if they actually could force
Yeah.
him. I mean, they could if they
I
wanted
don't
to,
think
but
they could.
I don't think that.
They could just make it bad for him to the point where he didn't want to be a part of the org anymore and therefore sold the team. But
I
agree with you on this.
and I actually believe I can't remember if it was Amin El Hassan who used to work for the Suns and he does a lot of did a lot of stuff for ESPN as well. He said that he said if it came down to it, he didn't believe that Sarver would actually sell the team
Yeah,
if they tried to force him out. He would
and
actually do some stuff to fight it, and that's another
that's
thing
what
that
I'm
people
gonna
fail to
tell him.
realize is
So Hill says in the comments that selling the team is a come up,
it
and it
is
is for a regular business person. But if you if you learn from winning time, it
long
wasn't,
term play,
and
baby.
it wasn't about the money for Jerry Buss. Like he truly loved the thrill of owning the team and being the one in charge and being able to go out there. To him, that was worth more than the bottom line that he paid for the team. So it's like I feel like Sarver's the same way. It's like, this is my toy. Like, no one can take it away from me. I own it. Not a lot of people can have this. It puts you in an elite club. And I think that's worth more than the profits because he's a businessman. He could do something else and make a wad of cash real quick. It don't have to
Yeah.
just be selling the team. He could actually take the team public and have investors for it if he wanted to and still own it. You feel me?
Yeah, and my thing is with Sarver, like you said, it's the thrill of owning the team. I don't know what the thrill of his, is for owning the team because it damn
And
sure
to
ain't
have that work environment and be misogynistic and do
right.
all those
And it's
things
his because
that
because
he's
it,
been doing.
it damn sure ain't winning because that just started happening. That to me, that should happen by accident. But
Uh,
one good crazy point that was made when I was listening to uh Locked on Suns podcast and my guy Brendan Clean, what he was saying is, how is this going to work with him being suspended for a year and James Jones making moves? Because technically, if James Jones want to make a move, he
hey,
doing it with his money, and he could
yeah,
just be like, come back and hey, bro, I had borrowed this
but
money.
no,
You're gonna have to cut
it's
this
it's
check.
working. It's the
Yeah,
operating income. So it's like that
yeah.
ain't it ain't his profits that's going to be used to that. Like the team already has that money set aside for their salary cap, and they're working their operating income. So it's like,
But my thing is something like when you make these moves, it got to go across that desk.
yeah, but unfortunately, it's going to be someone else that he's going to have to put someone out. It's going to be a de facto Sarver somewhere, and he's
I
going to be
know,
the
but
guy.
but
And
if
you
it's
know they're going to back channel it. He's still going to
oh
be giving an okay,
yeah.
but he ain't going to be giving an okay through email and through phone call and face to face interaction like he normally does. It's going to be one person only
If he
talking to
does if he tries to contact James Jones, I need James Jones to forward that email to Adam Silver.
James
Say, hey,
Jones.
bro, he
He's not
not
no
following the
snitch, bro.
rules.
He
Hey,
not no snitch.
hey, look, in this point in time, I need somebody to snitch on Cyrus. Suspend him for 4 more years
It's a
at
couple snitches
least.
on him. There's a couple snitches on him now.
Hey, look, I hope he accidentally hit reply all on something or some goddamn get that
Hey,
motherfucker
just
up
do like
out of
Bill
here.
Belichick. Just be old and send the wrong text. Sarver, that's
You
all it's
feel
gonna
me?
take.
We our guy Ruley, we touched on this when it first happened because I believe I brought it up.
Yeah, you
But
did.
Brett Favre, he under some fire for misappropriation of some funds. They took a lot of welfare funds
Yeah.
out there in
Mhm,
Mississippi. And as we know, Mississippi is the poorest state in,
mhm.
the United States of America. And they took some of those funds from welfare grants and welfare money, those government allotted buckets, and
Hey, come
and
down on him.
built a stadium, volleyball
Yeah.
arena. At the time, his daughter was an attendee and a member of the volleyball team at Southern Miss, I believe.
Hey,
And so
bring
he's come,
down on them. I
yeah,
don't know.
he's come on the fire, and
Yeah,
I believe
rightfully so.
you definitely have to do whatever you can to make this happen because this is one of those things that is systematically attacking low income people, which in the state of Mississippi, disproportionately will
But
affect black
also,
people.
whoever awarded him the funds need to be in trouble too
Oh no,
because
100%. The person that he's, that he was in cahoots with, they
yeah,
all coming down too.
because one, if my agency, my state agency, or my county or city agency is supposed to be using welfare funds, then it's my office's job to ensure that those funds land appropriately. Now, I can't blame the receiver of the money and say it's his fault because he can't make the money land there. It's my office's job to do the due diligence. So yes, I am going to blame Favre because he knows better and he's well off. So you could have done anything else. You could have raised money and had that thing built. Just
Yeah.
because you're Brett Favre, people would have invested in that. So you didn't have to use funds that are for other people. And y'all always like to throw that around that people who use welfare are lazy and all of that. No, it be a lot of times people who deserve welfare don't even be the ones getting it.
Exactly. And my whole thing is people who use
Hella wranglers.
right. That's funny. I'm sure he did. Probably them and them Crocs that he had on when he sent Shorty that picture. But what I don't agree with is like you said, people who use the government are lazy, and which is completely false because
It's
people who
completely
are
false,
people
bro.
who are wealthy, some of the most wealthy people use the government. They use those government loopholes. They use
Yep,
tax loopholes. They use
yep,
government. They use government labor laws as loopholes. They use all of that stuff as loopholes. So are they lazy too?
yeah. I
Or
mean,
because to
that's
me,
what we're saying.
some of the people who use the like you like actually rely on the government are some of the hardest working people out there because they
Fact.
have to do both.
Yeah.
And they have to do more because they trying to string shit together.
And when you're working with the government, you got to do everything by the book. So I don't understand how you can be lazy. If you ever try to get something done that is government involved, you got to dot your T's and cross your daggone I's. Hey, you can be lazy if you want. You're going to miss a deadline and be toast messing with the
Exactly.
government. Ain't got time for no procrastination or laziness when you're dealing with the government, man. They don't
Yep.
play that.
Because the moment you miss a deadline, you cut off.
You cut
It's
off, and
over.
that's it. Ain't no
It's
way
over.
around. They be like, you missed a deadline. You didn't fill out this form. There's nothing you can do until it opens up next year.
Exactly. And you asked out.
Hmm.
So yeah, man. Trying to think. Got anything else?
No, man. I feel like we got it out of there, man. If you got DK Metcalf, man, or CeeDee Lamb in your fantasy lineup, ship them out of there, man. That's my advice.
Cam makers, man.
I,
Cam makers.
I was staying away from him from the jump, bro.
That is definitely my fantasy thought of the week is Cam makers. I believe
And who Hill had a fantasy thought.
Mike Williams.
Mike
His,
Williams.
his was Mike Williams, but I do believe Mike Williams is gonna get his shit together.
I do think Mike Williams gonna get his stuff together.
Especially, I think it's gonna come this week because I don't think Keenan Allen's gonna end up playing.
Yeah.
So Mike Williams is gonna be the number one target on Thursday. So
Well, we're gonna see.
so we will definitely see. But man, oh man, Cam Akers, you bitch, you fucked me, Cam. You fucked my lineup up.
Henry gonna be all right, Mark. It's just they gotta get some aerial attack going because if they don't, then teams can just load the box. As tough as Henry is, teams can load the box. So it's like I still need you to believe that we might be passing in order for us to be effective with the run, despite it being King Henry. You feel me?
100%, and especially like and even if if teams that have like a good 1 or 0 technique,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's gonna be really tough for them because like as you
they
look
going two
like
blockers.
right because and like you look at how we played them in the playoffs, we ended up we basically put 2-1 techniques
Yeah,
and then had our defensive end. So we had DJ Reader and either Josh Tupou, Tyler Shelvin, like somebody like that, and basically put 600 pounds, 600
yeah.
pounds right in the middle.
And then let
And
Trey come from the edge.
yeah, and so it's just like, you gonna have to show us that you can pass it on us.
Mm-hmm.
And what the word with Derrick Henry around the league is, as long as you get him before he gets going, if you get him down in the
Once he get
backfield,
going, boy,
if you get him
it's a
like
business decision.
as long as you get him before the line of scrimmage, you are in a good you in good shape. And it's gonna be tough if they don't have no passing attack where people could just sell out and be like, hey, we gonna stop Derrick Henry and man everybody else.
What Hill put? He said, "Nah, after that, Keenan Allen got hurt early. in that game, and Mike ain't do nothing, man.
Listen, I understand Hill. I understand. Sometimes it might have been a Keenan Allen game, and they just
Yeah,
didn't.
they was
They,
already schemed up for Keenan Allen, man.
they
So
just
they
did.
wasn't. They ain't
They,
make adjustments.
so who knows, man? They got the win, and maybe once Keenan Allen went out, they bracketed him and said, "Hey, somebody else beat us," and they did. So it's gonna be all right here. It's all right here.
Yeah.
But
Dallas Duo is live at 10 o'clock, everybody. So if you like Cowboy news, if you want to hear how some true Cowboys fans feel about the Dak injury and how the offseason led into what happened in week 1, then check the channel
no,
out at 10
no,
p.m.
damn that, because I know what y'all really want to do. Y'all really just want to talk shit to the Cowboys. So just come back at
Hey,
10
and you
o'clock.
can do that too.
The comments will be open.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Talk shit to Hill and D White, because Hill wasn't here today, and I know y'all want to get some shit off,
Yeah.
and I know Hill got some shit that he want to get off. So join him and D White and maybe a special guest for the Dallas Duo at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So make sure, hey, if you haven't already, subscribe to the
Please.
3-Man Weave on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button right there, and make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button also. I can see who all in here, and I know how many people in here. I've been counting, so I'm about to go right now. I'm about to go to the page and make sure that the thumbs up add up to everybody here. If
Mhm.
not, I'm about to start getting some addresses and say, hey, drop that location, because
Hey,
we need to have a
pull
talk.
up on you.
You dig what I'm saying? So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at 3manweave_. Join the Facebook group if you haven't already, but I believe most of y'all here have. And
Have a good
I'm
rest of
A,
the week, everybody. I
I'm
mean, it's
AJ.
football tomorrow.
Best
Let's
time of
do
year.
it. Yeah.
I'm AJ. That's Cannon. Hill in the comments. We out, baby. Shout out to the